The heroes have defeated the Demon King and return to the capital, whose inhabitants greet the heroes with smiles and joy. Next they come to the king, who is going to erect a statue in their honor. After the celebration, they get together and begin to remember where it all began. First, the king almost executed them for disrespecting him, and how they wanted to leave one of the group members with the monster. They agree to meet again in 50 years and go their separate ways. Time skips along with one of the group, Frieren. 50 years go by and Frieren settles in the forest. She needs a dragon horn, which was found by another member of her group, and it's time to meet them all. She returns to the capital where she meets the first member of the group who has grown a beard. He is the one the girl needs, and he gladly gives her the cursed horn. The king keeps his promise and puts up a statue where everyone is young and ambitious. Then they all go together to watch a starfall that happens once every 50 years. A little later, one of the members of the group ends his earthly journey and everyone comes to say goodbye to him for the last time. Then she visits her old acquaintance and he introduces her to his ward, a little orphan, and says that she has great talent for magic and asks Frieren to teach her magic. He also shows the magician a book in which, as he was told, is the secret of eternal life, but the book is encrypted and the girl will need a few years to figure it out. Next the little apprentice shows the magician what she is capable of. The result is amazing, but she lacks power as the stone opposite remains untouched. Another 4 years pass. Frieren is almost done deciphering the book, but the man is getting very sick and she will most likely not make it to his end. The adopted daughter, instead of being with her father, spends all her time near the cliff trying to reach by magic to the stone opposite to show what she has achieved to her father before he goes to the next world. Seeing the girl's efforts, Frieren becomes motivated and finishes the book faster, but the young girl also manages to prove that her training was not in vain. It turns out that there was nothing in the book about eternal life and the old man knew it all. He asked Frieren to decipher the book only to get closer to his daughter and she joined her not as a burden but as an apprentice. Now they travel together and help people. In one of the villages the grandmother asked them to clean the monument of one of the members of Frieren's group. It takes several months, and all because the elf wanted to plant her partner's favorite flowers, but they were very hard to find. Frieren continues to teach the girl as soon the seal that restrains one very strong demon, with which even the heroes could not cope, will weaken and the demon will again be dangerous to the inhabitants. That moment comes, so they come face to face again. This demon is the founder of the very first and strongest attack spell, which is why it was so dangerous. During the time the monster was asleep, hundreds of scientists from all over the world had developed a formula for a defense spell that protects the caster from the demon's attack spell. No matter how hard the demon tried, the sages did their best. He was finished off with his own spell. After a few more quests, Frieren comes to the place where they used to be with the group and finds an acquaintance of his, who is also not of the human race, and therefore still alive. Together they search for a real book that says about life after death. So they reach a giant tree with a seal that was quickly removed, as Frieren was the apprentice of the famous sorceress who made the seal. Inside they find a book that says that somewhere there is a place where you can meet those who have already left this world. Unfortunately the dwarf is too old for long journeys, so he can't go with the girls. On their way they meet a dragon's nest in which there is a book with a very important spell for Frieren. To get this book they have to fight with the dragon that constantly guards his nest, but the magicians cannot cope with him alone, so they have to find a warrior. Luckily he's already looking for them too. The good people bring the girls to him. The next day the three of them come to the dragon again. The battle begins not for life but for death, in which the warrior defeats the dragon, which for many years nightmare the city. Frieren gets his book, and then the three of them continue traveling. They come to the city, but the guards won't let them in, so they have no choice but to settle here for a couple of years. During this time Frieren will have time to deal with the spells they found during this time. Frieren bought the spell book again and the knights came for it. No, it's the manager who came to apologize for not letting them through at the outpost, as they remember the elf's deed and will gladly let the team through. Beyond the wall, they come to a town where they are preparing for a feast in honor of the 80th anniversary of the day a group of heroes defeated a local demon. In this city, Frieren meets a demon who walks quietly between people. She intends to fight him, but it is forbidden to fight within the walls of the city, for which she is taken to the dungeon. It turns out that these demons in the city are negotiators that came from strong demons that bother all the inhabitants of this region. But the city managers are not stupid and realize that messing with demons is dangerous. They let them in only to avenge their dead loved ones. The demons skillfully parry the arguments and stay alive. One of them heads to Frieren to remove an obstacle in the arrangement between humans and demons. The demon felt superiority early on and let his guard down, which cost him his life. This demon to get into the dungeon killed a guard, for which the manager comes to the negotiator. In an instant, the demon sends all the knights to the grave, and leaves the governor alive to watch his city fall to ruin. At this time, one of the 7 minions of the demon king who has managed to gain strength has gathered his army and is waiting for the demons inside the city to disable the barrier that does not let the undead inside. The demons meet up with Frieren's team and split into one-on-one fights. The older demon fights the mage, while the younger demon gets a pickaxe and fights the warrior. The older demon underestimated the power of the mage, who hid most of his mana, causing the demon to show his back early, which the girl took advantage of. The guy is not doing so well either, but he finds his strength and defeats the demon with great difficulty. The main battle ahead, Frieren is facing an army of undead led by a henchwoman of the King of Demons is here to decide the fate of the world.